The headline is Phoenix police fire tear gas at protesters downtown. And I'm sure that did happen. I mean, you have protesters, you had rioters. They caused $300,000 worth of damage, damaged at least 18 buildings. Now, what's really interesting about this story, though, is not even, this is a pretty common story that you've seen all over the country in Salt Lake City and Chicago, Miami, LA, Minneapolis, everywhere. You've seen stories like this. But the original headline, this is not the original headline of the story. Because if you look at the URL, the address, it says, protesters in Phoenix attack police station. So the original headline of the story was protesters attack. And yeah, Zachary Stone just commented, information on the internet can be bad and can be good. People can twist information, display it to serve their own purposes. That's absolutely true. And unfortunately, you have the media getting things wrong. And I think there was sort of an appetite for people to digest, to get a hold of stories of police officers being attacked. But of course, most of these rioters, these protesters, they don't want to fight the police. You don't want to fight somebody who has a gun, who might be able to shoot back at you. You want to go after unarmed businesses and business owners, people who are easy targets and easy victims. And we've talked about this on the phone. These protesters, they're going after innocent businesses. Why are they doing it? What's the political message? What's the political purpose of all of this? And the answer is they're trying to make a statement, but they're not brave enough to go after the people that they would actually blame for for George Floyd's death. They're not willing to go after the mayor. They're not willing to go after the city council or the police officers because they know they will get shot. It doesn't take much to disperse a crowd. If one person gets shot, that crowd is dispersed.
Yeah, it's interesting how you talked about the original headline of this particular article. It's interesting how that kind of thing happens because I think it happens quite a bit. I've actually previously I was going to show the fact that on this article on CNN, this happens all the time. There'll be the way that the article is listed on the main site, and that's the clickbait. That's the thing you're supposed to click on, and then so often you click on it, and then the actual headline's completely different. I mean, it's similar, but it's different. And the clickbait was meant to get you to go to the site, right? But it's so misleading. And then once you read the article, you find out if you actually read the article, that's not what it said. That's in fact the instance I remember, and I talked to you about it off the air, was there was one where they were talking about this drive-through graduation ceremony at a high school. And this was on CNN. And basically, the clickbait part on the main page made you think that these high school students got COVID from going to a drive-in graduation ceremony. Then when you read the actual article, first of all, the headline was different for the actual article. And then when you read the article, it turned out it was most likely they got the COVID from going to a party after the ceremony. And that's basically what the article said. It was so misleading. It was just so misleading.
Yeah. Well, certainly in this story, that clickbait is what got me there. As I was looking, hey, are people attacking police officers? Are people attacking police stations? What's going on? Are our police officers safe? Because I wanted to know. And there was no retraction. There was a pull his back now. Yeah, I've heard that too. That is absolutely just what we needed. Murder hornets, monkeys who are strong and self-replicating. It's like the robot uprising, the singularity. But this is so crazy that news is happening so fast. So much of it is false. And yet there's no retraction. There's no apologies. The media doesn't back down. They don't say, hey, that attack at that police station, that didn't happen. Sorry, my bad. They'd already syndicated that. And the people who retracted it were the other outlets that had been caught, holding the bag because they'd already copied the content. So they weren't getting the updates from the Washington Times. All they had was the original bogus story, which they had to say, nope, that didn't happen.
And that's a good lesson for us because I do rely quite a bit on other people's reporting. And sometimes it's false. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate thing when you don't have access to your own field reporters and the like. Zachary Stone says, "Yeah, the media has really frustrated me the past few months more than usual. I believe the curtain has been pulled back to show how much the media is just looking for views and not actually present. Not they don't want to actually present the news." And I think you've hit the nail on the head, Zachary. I think that's absolutely true. In fact, one thing I kind of want to just mention that I think is really interesting is I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a narrative going out where a lot of media outlets are talking about police are targeting them. Okay, they're saying police are targeting them, like they got shot with pepper spray, they got shot with rubber bullets. I have literally seen at least four, I think 3 or 4 live broadcasts where a member of the media was basically being attacked, pushed, shoved, grabbed by protesters. Okay, seen this live. I even saw it, I think, on ABC, their 6 o'clock news or 5 o'clock news, the network news. There was a reporter that was attacked, and there was an incident in Arizona where there was a female reporter where a guy grabbed her and tried to get her mic away from her. And there was an incident in my community in Scottsdale where a security guard was actually physically beaten up during that attack on Scottsdale Fashion Square. And that's not the narrative. That's happened. I mean, there's no doubt that protesters have specifically targeted media. But the only thing you hear about is, the police are doing that. I just think that's interesting as far as, just trying to get that narrative going without actually even reporting what's happening to them, what's actually happening to them.
Right. Yeah, completely asymmetric that when police attack a reporter, of course, it's front page news. But the fact that you have lots of reporters that are being attacked by these rioters, these protesters, and somehow that's not newsworthy, absolutely mind blowing.